everything that's going on right now, you know, a lot of things are changing, and we can't go to the national parks right now and visit those beautiful trees. But those sequoias, some of them are, you know, even as much as 2,000 or 3,000 years old. So they've seen so many changes. They've seen a lot of different things happen. And so I thought it'd be good to read a story a little bit about those sequoia trees. Because even though they're having all these changes happen, we'll get through it, just like the sequoias were able to get through it. Isn't that right, Doxie? Good boy. Okay. You think that's a good idea, Fozzy? Good job. Okay. Let's get ready to read the next story. This one's called The Sequoia Lives On, and it's by Joanna Cooke, illustrated by Fiona Hsieh. I hope I pronounced that correctly, because she has some beautiful pictures in this book. It's one of my favorites. And there's a lot of them that have a picture of an owl hidden in the picture. So keep an eye out for that owl. Alright, the sequoia lives on. See, there's that owl up in the corner. The sequoia lives on. Giant sequoias are living wonders. In groves scattered along the Sierra Nevada, a mountain range in California, sequoias dwarf all their neighbors. No other trees are as tall and wide and magnificent. Stand beneath a sequoia and anything seems possible. Gaze into its branches and wonder how the sequoia lives on. The sequoia is Earth's most massive tree, the height of 3 blue whales stacked chin to tail and weighing even more. It begins life as most trees do, as a seed, a flake no bigger than an ant. How does such a tiny seed grow into a tree as heavy as 300 elephants? That's even bigger than you, Fozzy, huh? You're a pretty big boy. The sequoia seed relies on fire. A blaze crawls on the forest floor, clearing away fallen leaves and broken branches in which a seed might disappear. Rising heat from the fire warms the sequoia's scaly cones, drying and opening them, then setting the brown seeds adrift in smoke-filled air, floating toward a place to grow. On newly uncovered soil, a seed rests in a shaft of sunlight. Roots anchor it to the ground, and a seedling grows up and up toward golden beams shining through the canopy, the highest layer of branches in the forest. Up and up, the seedling reaches for the sunlight that has traveled all the way from the sun to the earth. Sequoia leaves take in that sunlight and also air. Exhale, and your breath could become food for a sequoia. And the sequoia lives on. Deep breath. You might have heard a meow. Our cats are just off screen watching this reading session too. When fire is absent in a sequoia grove, the seeds rely on other help. Furry chickarees grip the bark with little claws. in search of a sequoia cone's green scales to feast on. The seeds, too small for a meal, fall to the ground and, with luck, may sprout. The longhorn beetle lays its eggs on a cone. When the larvae hatch, they eat through the scales and part of the stem, causing the cone to dry and open. Again, the seeds fall. Buried in the earth, a sequoia's roots reach outward, creating a hidden foundation as wide as the tree is tall. Each day, a large sequoia's roots absorb enough water to fill more than 8 bathtubs. From across the forest, a sequoia's colorful bark almost glows, thicker at the tree's base than at the top. The spongy bark swells into buttresses that support the sequoia's growing bulk. How long will it take for a sequoia seedling to become so big? Humans can live more than 80 years, a mere blink in the life of a sequoia. After 2 human lifetimes, a sequoia will have grown old enough to make cones. With enough sunlight, air, and water, a mighty sequoia can live more than 30 human lifetimes. Imagine a sequoia so old and so huge, not even a ring of 20 children holding hands could hug it. Some are even grander, giants among giants. An old sequoia's trunk may be hollowed out by fire. Its crown, once pointed like a pyramid, is now a snag top, broken by lightning and wind. Lower branches grow upward, filling openings in the canopy. The expanded crown holds more leaves, which means more food for growing. Even black and scarred, an old sequoia can produce a gallon of tiny seeds, more than 300,000 each year, and the sequoia lives on. Over time, such immensity can harm an ancient sequoia. Season after season, its branches thicken and grow heavy. Broader than nearby pines and cedars, the great branches overwhelm the damaged trunk and shallow roots, and the sequoia falls. Shaking the ground upon impact, the tree shatters into car-sized blocks and toothpick tiny pieces, and still the sequoia lives on. Stretched across the forest floor, the fallen sequoia decomposes over hundreds of years. The massive trunk now rests side by side with new seedlings reaching for golden beams of light. The cycle of giants begins again with one tiny seed. You can help protect giant sequoias too. When visiting a sequoia grove, practice these leave no trace principles. Respect trail signs in closed areas, leave sequoia cones and seeds on the ground, take all trash, even picnic crumbs with you. Your family or school class can also help by joining a conservation group or volunteering. Most importantly, learn all you can about our living planet. The future of giant sequoias will depend on young people like you continue to care for these amazing trees. Very cool. See you later. Bye. All right.